Is this working? Yeah, it's working. Hey folks, so we're back again and with a new website this time. It's called piston.my. And first off, I'd like to thank everyone for joining me here today and also for following me during my time at autofreaks.com, which I started 4 years ago from absolutely nothing. And well, you know, they say all good things must come to an end. And although I don't really know what's going to happen to Autofreaks, I wish it all the best. I really do. It's my baby, so you know, I hope somebody keeps it going. And so here we are at piston.my. Now, piston.my has been around since 2015, and we've all, you know, it's always been in the background and putting up news and stuff, and it never really had a head. So, well, I guess that's why I'm here today, to be that head, for want of a better expression. But yeah, I'll be heading up this website. And for today, hey, we've got something a little bit new, actually quite new. It was launched in Taiwan last year, somewhere around the middle of last year, and we all went there. And they even had Cesar Millan, the dog whisperer, and we all wondered what he's going to whisper to the to this new car or what. Well, the new car in question is this. I'm actually driving it right now. It's the new Subaru XV 2.0i. With symmetrical all-wheel drive. Now, a lot of people have asked, do you really need four-wheel drive in an SUV? I mean, let's face it, even Honda Malaysia recently, they launched the top-of-the-line CR-V with just two-wheel drive, and if you want four-wheel drive, it's actually one rung below. Now, that's a move that surprised everybody because, let's face it, I mean, four-wheel drive, top-of-the-line, two-wheel drive, you know, one variant below, but they've gone the other way around, and it seems to have worked really well because, let's face it again, how many of you are really going to take your SUV off-road? Now, I know I would, because I'm nuts. It really begs the question then, you know, the Range Rover, Vogue and HSE and all those really expensive SUVs. Who in their right mind would actually take them off-road? Oh, speaking of which, I mean, long life, there's a beautiful Land Rover Defender right in front of me. Now, this is something you would take off-road. I mean, that's a Defender, okay? Born on the off-road. You can use it on the road if you want. Range Rover, no way. Born on the road, you can use it off-road if you're nuts. I mean, it's more than ₦1 million. I would be afraid to get it scratched, much less take it off-road. So yeah, so back to the question, do you really need four-wheel drive in an SUV? Well, if it's a family SUV, then you know what, I would say no. But if you have a penchant for going off-road, like, you know, if maybe you want to graduate from a truck. Let's say you've always had a truck, but now you know your family's getting bigger. You know you need a little bit more space, so you decide, I don't really need that cargo bed. I mean, let's face it, how many of you really use that cargo bed? I've out of 9 times out of 10 trucks I see on the road, nobody uses the cargo bed. It's empty. What a waste. So get something enclosed like an SUV, like this, for example. Now, this, of course, is not a full-size SUV, as you can see. No, maybe you can't. Well, maybe you can. It's just a 5-seater. There's no option for a 7-seater. I mean, you wouldn't want to put rear seats in this thing. Believe me, it's. I wouldn't even say it's. I wouldn't say it's small. It's not large. It's somewhere in between. Okay, it's a mid-size. Let's put it that way. So yeah, back to my answer just now. Do you really need four-wheel drive in an SUV? I would say no. Because let's face it, most of the time you're just going to be using it in town. So what do you want in an SUV? You want comfort. That box is ticked. This thing has got some really good NVH, noise, vibration and harshness suppression. It's unbelievable, actually. I drove this to Seremban the other day on the highway, and it's a speeding ticket waiting to happen because I was doing 140 and I didn't even realize. Okay, I didn't realize I was doing 140. I just kept whizzing along and I couldn't feel it. Really. It feels like you're driving a luxury passenger car. You know, I'm not saying you know, Mercedes-Benz or Lexus or anything like that. I mean, let's just put it into perspective. This thing's just over 100,000 ringgit. But it was really impressive. Now, the only sound I could hear, and maybe you can even hear it in the background if I shut up for a while. No, that was a truck. It's tire noise. Okay, a lot of tire noise does permeate the cabin. And I checked the tires. They're properly inflated. They're pretty high aspect ratio, actually, 60 series on 17-inch wheels, I think. I'm gonna have to recheck that. But for all intents and purposes, this is just another player in the game. However, yes, it's another player in the mid-size SUV game. There are tons of them out there. Really, there's so many. but it's a definite worthy consideration. I would say so. Because if you're not thinking about, going nuts, let's put it this way, okay? It's a Subaru, but it's not a WRX STI or whatever. It's not a flame-spitting turbocharged beast. You get a reasonable amount of power and torque from the engine. I'll tell you straight up, I hate the gearbox. This gearbox is like it was made by one company and then mated to an engine made by another. I heard that it was sourced from another car maker, and maybe it's good in their car, but in this one it just seems to hunt way too much, and it gets a little bit noisy too, which is something that it's probably going to irritate a lot of people in the long haul. You get paddle shifts. See, I'll play with it right now. See, I just downshifted. I'll do it again. And just accelerate, and you can play with it on this side and upshift. So yeah, you get paddle shifts. It's all based on Subaru's new global platform, GDP, global platform technology, global Subaru global platform. Sorry, there you go. There's so many acronyms these days. I can hardly remember. But it's been going great, and I'm going to show you the outside in a little while, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the car. As far as driving is concerned, okay, this thing is painted an amazing shade of sunshine orange. It's called Sunshine Orange, and I'll tell you what, if anybody says, oh, I didn't see you, that's why I pulled out, that's gonna be total BS, because this thing sticks out like you won't believe. It's so in your face, it's so striking. Am I allowed to go? Because there's road construction going on here. Okay, I'll just go. So anyway, where was I? Yeah, I asked the Subaru people, the orange is in all their above the line advertising and banners and posters and leaflets. Does anybody buy the orange? And he goes, they come in and they look at the orange and they love it, and then they buy the blue. That's typical. That's really typical. It was the same. It was the same way with the Volkswagen Scirocco. You remember that? It came in this amazing green. I can't remember what the name of the green was, but it was just unbelievable. It was the most amazing green, and on that Scirocco, it looked brilliant. And sure enough, people came in and they're like, ooh, on the green, and whoa, and they buy the white. Why? You like the green, buy the green. Who cares what other people think? I think it was great. It also leads to the enigma of wagons. Remember that? Remember I talked about that some time ago, the enigma of wagons? People go into the showroom, like Volvo showroom, and they see the V90 and they're like, oh my god, it's so nice, it's so beautiful. Oh, the V90 is great, and they buy the S90. So much so that now I've heard that Volvo is going to discontinue, unfortunately, painfully, the wagon, because nobody's buying them. And the V90 wagon is brilliant, it's wonderful, it's beautiful, it handles better than the sedan, if you ask me. And still, nobody buys them. And so you know what's going to happen then? The price of the V90 is going to go up. I mean, the used price of the V90 is going to go up. It's definitely going to go up because they're going to be so rare. And that's the enigma of wagons. But I'm digressing so much right now, and to the point where I've almost forgotten what I'm driving. Yes, I'm driving the XV. And I'm kidding. There's some traffic around me now, and the people are starting to look, because it actually looks like I'm talking to myself. So I'm going to try and talk without moving my lips. And, because I'm getting some funny stares, and there's a lady on the phone over there, who is on her phone looking at me. I think she's calling the paramedics. There could be guys in white coming to get me now. So I'm turning off. Okay, bye-bye, lady. I'm not mad. I'm not stupid. Okay, maybe the second one, but okay, I'm definitely not mad. So, see, did you feel that? No, of course you couldn't. But that's the gearbox hunting again. It gets a little bit confused, when you're creeping along in slow speed. It doesn't know whether you want to accelerate or you want to decelerate, whether you're coming to a stop or whether you're going to go. So it starts to hunt. And although it's a 6-speeder, it only feels really good when it's in its top gear and going, on the highway. In slow speed crawls, it tends to hunt a little bit too much, which is something that, I don't quite like. It doesn't come in a manual, so you can forget about that, and this is the only gearbox option you get. It's loaded with kit, this car. It's got hill descent control, it's got climate control, cruise control, an interface here that it's taken me like 3 days to try and figure it out. I hate the fact that I can't adjust the clock. The clock, I think it's set for Japan time or something, because it's an hour fast, and it keeps telling me I'm an hour late, which is really not something that I quite like. But okay, I'm going to pause here for a second because I'm going to try and find a place to stop to give you a walkabout. And that's the good thing about the Samsung. I can pause the video. I don't have to start reshooting again. So hold on a second. I'll be right back. Hey folks, so we're back again, and here's your walk around of the new Subaru XV. As you can see, that orange is pretty in your face. And so like I said earlier, anybody who says they didn't see you coming is a liar. So yeah, here we go. Again, what I said earlier in regards to driving off-road, I don't know if you really want to do that in an SUV, but you could in this. You know, it's even got an X mode or X drive mode, in which hitting it locks up the four-wheel drive system, and you get permanent four-wheel drive for ultimate traction. Let's have a look at the inside. Not too shabby at all, is it? I mean, like, you know, have a look at those seats, and I would reckon they're semi-bucket with lovely orange stitching to match the orange outside. And here's your interface. You've got Navi. Takes a while to load, but you'll see it in a sec. There we go. You've got all your settings, sound, phone, Android. Oh yeah, there's a mirror link as well. And of course this is your radio, iPod. This is a pretty cool feature here. Lets you scroll through the different, you see that? The different apps. Auto lights. Yeah, that little graph there on the right tells you your pitch, you know, how many percent. So right now I'm at level, or so it says. And the one on the left tells you that your four-wheel drive system is working, your all-wheel drive system is working. So there you have it. Okay, where am I? Here am I. There we go. Do you need a four-wheel drive SUV? Well, this thing's got 800 kilometers for one full tank. I've been running it around for the whole weekend, what, 3 days now. It's gone down 2 bars, and that included a trip to Seremban and back. I've already clocked 213 kilometers on it, and just 2 bars of fuel. So it's really fuel efficient. But I would say the most impressive thing about this car, it has to be the NVH, if you ask me. The least impressive is of course the gearbox. And I even have a friend who has one who has also corroborated the fact that he doesn't like his gearbox either. He bought one of these. But apart from that, this is definitely a worthy consideration. If you're looking for a family SUV midsize, this would do it. There's a video going on online right now. I mean, I hope it doesn't go really viral, where they pitted this against another SUV from the car maker, which I mentioned earlier. But that one is only a two-wheel drive, and they put it on a wet metal plate. And of course, the two-wheel drive just spun, whereas this just, you know, took off on its own. Now, I don't know why they compared a four-wheel drive against a two-wheel drive. It seems like a very unfair comparison to me. In fact, I don't even want to compare this car to anything else, because taken on its own, it's a very, very decent proposition for somebody looking for a mid-size SUV for either daily commuting or family use. Yeah. You might want to go test drive one of these things. The Subaru showroom in PJ is quite nice, the new one. I saw a few people that test driving it already when I went to pick this up. Well worth the consideration. Yep, nice one, Subaru.